We don't see the benefit with this. After, I've been here now for 20 years, and essentially what we do is, we do two things there. We meet, we agree, we discuss, we buy purchase power. The executive director is not involved. We contract with the law firm of Betts and Holt to provide legal services. We spend right out of that $61,000 we spend out of that. The executive director is not involved in any of this. So the two activities that we are engaged in with the Public Power Association, the purchase of electric power and the use of legal services, we're paying out of our own pockets for that.
So
I don't see the benefit here whatsoever.
so we're still paying the $28,000 this year.
I want to, yes. I want to do that.
It's 15
That was
here.
half a year.
Well, he's saying we need to put it back in.
I want to put it back in. I
Put
think,
what you
it
said.
back in.
Okay.
And the benefit of working with the other communities in the state is still there. We can still, next contract, we want to buy power together, we need to do it. And this association may be a whole different ballgame at that point because they won't have people supporting the executive director most likely.
well, there are 10 members. The entire budget is $292,000 for 2009. I think after we fire the first shot, I think there's going to be other resignations.
So it'll be a dominoes.
So if I understand you, Robert, when we're here next year at this time, we're talking about the 2010 budget, there'll be a zero
There will
there.
be a goose egg there. Right, yes. All right, the other item, which addresses Dan's concern, is on purchase power account 430. And we're going to, as of June 1, have a new supplier, which is going to be Constellation Energy. And my estimates for 2009 are, the budget would come in at 16.2. The New York Power Authority is $300,000. Detroit Edison, January, February, March, April, and May would be $5.7 million, and Constellation $9,950,000, reducing the contingency to $250,000. I have seen about a 1% reduction in consumption of kilowatt hours. We came in $1 million under the budget, Dan. The budget is 16. We purchased 15. I'm pleased that. Once again, with these new suppliers, I have to be very careful with how I'm budgeting. I don't have any experience with them whatsoever, with the numbers. This one, hopefully, if we purchase the same amount of kilowatt hours, we could, without any really summer spikes, we'll probably spend 15 and a half or so. But I want a $500,000 cushion on a $16 number, $16 million number. And that explains the entire difference.
And the other catch to that is if we're purchasing less, we're selling less.
That is correct.
So,
Making less.
so we'd have to change the revenue side if we brought that number down anyway.
Yes.
So,
Robert,
Yes.
going back to page B5,
Yes.
account 528, health and dental insurance.
Yes.
We are, if we're looking at the comparison between your recommended budget versus 2008,
Yes.
there's a 34% increase.
That is correct.
I thought the increase was, I thought we
It is.
negotiated.
It's 27%.
Then why
Once
is
again,
it 34?
in the water and electric and municipal budgets, you need flexibility with health insurance because there can be changes in coverages from single to married with children. So during the course of the year, the coverages can change, so the premiums are going to increase. And you need flexibility within the account to cover the appropriation.
So even though it's a 27% increase, we budget for a 34%
I'm
increase?
budgeting a little more, that is correct.
because again, we can't move money into
Right.
Yeah.
this account.
I'm locked.
Okay, okay.
And those reserves that are not spent are carried over and then canceled into surplus. Any further questions on this budget?
So you gave 20,000, you took back 13?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Water Utility Administration,
Yes.
account 5500.
Once again, you'll see the same health insurance, pension numbers. You see the same thing in account 528,
Yeah.
group health insurance. See the large increase there. And the very last page, statutory. You see the increase in the pension significantly. Last year will be the last year of the phase-in for the public employee retirement system. If we go to 100% funding, next year will be the last year that hopefully we see this kind of spike.
Is this the first year we've seen it?
No, this is the third year.
So we're taking it in 3 years?
Yes, yeah. And account 825 capital improvement fund, we're going from 200,000 to 300,000. Traditionally, we funded 400,000, but since we funded 200,000 in the water field budget last year for the engineering studies, I cut that in half. So I want to go back to 3. Next year, I'm going to be requesting 4, perhaps even larger, depending upon the water main replacement program.
Gotcha.
Just back on the pension, last night, the municipalities, Bill Dressel, had questions, I guess, from different towns. And although I didn't meet anyone that isn't paying their bill, wants to just get it out of the way, and I just talked to the Mayor's Summit tonight, they want to get it out of the way. What you could do if you were considering splitting any of it is you can pay, for instance, your entire PERS, and you could do the deferment just on the PFRS. So there's some flexibility, but the whole thing is still a moving target, and it just doesn't look like
Yes,
it's really going to go anywhere, so.
yes. Mayor,
No one really wants to, none of the mayors seem to want to even participate in this.
before you arrived, we were talking about timing issues with some of the departments on getting back, and the schedule calls for us to introduce in April. But as I mentioned to the council, we shouldn't move forward until we know what the numbers are. Any further questions on the...
Yeah, Robert, can you
yes.
explain Social Security?
Can I explain?
Why
something?
it's here?
I don't think anyone can explain Social Security.
Why is it here? Explain to me why is it here? And it did not appear anywhere else.
Well, actually, the sheet for Social Security for the electric utility was not placed. There's another sheet for Social Security and pension for the electric utility administration. It just was
It's there.
excluded. It was excluded from your package.
I see.
Okay,
So
so-
how are we splitting these
Okay.
equally?
Once again, the pension, the Social Security, and the health insurance are all treated the same. We have a piece of that in the municipal budget, a piece in the water, a piece in electric, and a piece in the library.
Are they
Very
split
transparent.
evenly?
Pardon me?
Or are they split
No,
evenly?
no,
Oh,
they're
just a-
Based on personnel.
Yeah.
Based on the
No,
numbers,
well,
okay.
it's, the Social Security piece is 7.65% of the salaries. And once again, with that, I need flexibility because when there is large unplanned overtime, Social Security's charged on that, and the last thing I'm going to do is try and make a budget transfer for Social Security. So I hold generous amounts of Social Security. And once again, when they're not spent, they're carried as appropriation reserves and canceled into surplus.